6
Yeah,
years.
sometimes, yeah, we have people that since we've been in Awakenings Institute offering classes for decades, literally, which is shocking to us, the decades just suddenly appear. So some people like Deborah, were involved with us, over a
It's
decade ago.
2005.
Yeah, some people started a few years ago, like Margaret and David, actually quite a few years ago. Some people like Ashley are just showing up and just starting, which is wonderful, and Lucia and Melanie. Um, so that's great to have this spectrum of people who are new and to us anyways. And then, the material, some people are rather new to the material and some people are pretty veteran. But I think some of the tips I'm going to give you in the lab today, just an overview of the quote lab. I'm going to do a demonstration of the one card reading actually with two other cards releasing and embracing the main focus card like we did in the last class. And then I'll do it collectively for us all. I pre pick the cards so it goes quicker and easier. But just to give you the mindset of what you're doing for what we're doing and what you may want to duplicate. So you're doing a card, you're either going to do a reading for yourself or for someone else, unless you're actually giving a class like we are. That might be a little more advanced at this point. But the idea is you can pick cards out ahead of time too, with the idea of the intent, whatever the intent is in the moment, or which we often like to do. What is our next spiritual step? What is the next step for our spiritual growth? Which is we often ask that topic because whatever's up, if you're having a challenge with your relationship, with your health, with your business, whatever it is, that's going to fit within that main question. And the bigger picture question, which we like, is what's the most important thing to know now about my spiritual growth today, now, right this moment? And that's what we'll ask. And it's really no problem doing it ahead of time. Uh, and it saves you some time because there's a certain amount of picking the cards, checking some guidebook, maybe interpretation. All of that takes a few minutes, which, if you can do it ahead of time and it's just as valid as doing it in the moment, why not save the time? That's our thinking about it. And that's what we're doing today. So I have the cards picked out, which I'm going to show you on my second camera in a moment. The suspense is building, I know. And then we'll have a person volunteer to go through the cards, but yet even though the person is individually doing that, it's the cards were picked for us all collectively. So we'll customize it for ourselves, even though who's ever the volunteer will give us a lot of ahas and insights for ourselves personally and for the collective. And then as a little follow-up lab to make it simple, we could break into groups and you could pick one more card, whichever cards you happen to have. We're going to be using the Akashic Tarot deck, the cards I picked up, and the main card from the Mystic Shaman Oracle deck today. And if you don't have those decks, you can pick the one card from either of those decks or even another deck if you don't have those for some reason. Um, so any comments or questions on the overview before I give you a few, I think, helpful tips about uh, using the cards and going into the Akashic records? So just a few comments, new or reviewed. Uh, we like to look at this as more of a sacred practice. If you take it as that instead of another activity, that makes it more meaningful. Uh, and then you want to open yourself up to trusting the process. And that's challenging because we all have, even, you can, people who are who've done this for decades still say, I still have questions. Where are the questions coming from? Well, they're, to be blunt, they're coming from our egos, from our left brain, which is fine. Now, what do you do with that? You don't try to shut it down. You don't try to resist it. You don't try to deny it. Just allow that. That's part of the experience. But you want to sort of put it as suspension. It's sort of like a person who says, hey, I don't know about this. Can I trust it? Is it right? Is it true? Does it make sense? I don't understand it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Those are all good questions. You don't fight that. Say, no, it's fine. I trust it. You just allow it. Okay, yeah, we're going to kind of explore it now. We can come back to those questions later. You know, and that's usually enough to quiet the ego so we can go forward with the reading. So your intent is to focus on the topic. As I said, what is my next spiritual step, with the cards we've drawn. And then we have those different ways of connecting with the Akashic records. Uh, you we like to go up to the mountaintop and then up to through a portal to a higher realm, taking you to the Akashic records. A simple visualization. You might not visualize it. It could be claircognizance is the technical term, like clear visual, seeing, clear audio, hearing, clear sentience, sensing. But this knowing, you may have an immediate knowing. Some people do that's sort of their modality. It happens to be mine. And it may or may not be yours. And then you have secondary modalities, and you may not have visual at all. Jane is very visual, so she does, and you may get visuals coming up as needed. Or when you're with someone who is very visual, you might be a more visually oriented approach. So you connect with the records, allow it to come into awareness. And some people think, well, I'm not getting anything. It generally takes a little time. Allow that time to unfold. Don't expect instant, I'm there, I'm seeing everything in 3D cinematic color. Give it some time. It's there. And that's where you're trusting the process. I don't know what it is, what it means. And that's interesting. If you start off with I start off sort of with the assumption I don't know what it is. I'm not sure where I is. I'm not getting much of anything, or I don't know what I'm getting. But here's the big but. I do know I'm getting something. That's what I'm trusting. Don't know what it is, but I'm going to allow it to unfold kind of like a picture forming. Deb?
So is that give it time in this moment, or do you mean keep practicing and it'll come?
Well, both, but for this reading, give it time in this moment. So I connect with the records. I'm getting a sense of my next spiritual step. Something's coming up. Not sure what it is, but I know it's coming. Okay, what are you getting? Well, I'm getting a sense of someone, in a cave. Okay, I don't know what is. Okay, let me go more. So one thing, what's going on in the cave? Well, there's a light coming into the cave. Okay, is there anyone there? Oh, wait a second. Yeah, there is someone else. See, so you just take it one step at a time, just like an investigator or a detective. What's there? And as you sort of look and ask the question, it shows up because the records is responding to what you want to know and what you need to know. Just like if you had an internet search. I want to know more about the Akashic records. Okay, there's general sites. What do you want to know about the Akashic records? I want to know how to contact them. Okay, now you get information on that. I want to know how to read the Akashic records. You'll get information on that. So it's something akin to that, although this is really more objective and profound and authentic, really, than even the internet or AI searching. Okay. Just before I give you a few more tips, just any comments or questions just to allow people into interact at this moment. And I know a couple of these things we covered previously. I want to review them because they're so important. Because like anything else you study, you hear something, you kind of register, you come, oh, now I'm getting it. And now you're piecing it together. Okay. So we covered your intent, trusting, kind of putting the ego aside without resisting. Next couple comments, different ways to connect with records. You may just go straight into it. I want to go to the records. I want to know today. And that's, just frankly, I kind of do that, but you may not do that, or you may not do that immediately, but at some point, maybe you will. But you may go through the visualization, go up Jack and the Beanstalk, through a portal, through a mist, through a tunnel, some kind of passage portal way where you're just sensing yourself, whatever way you relate to. And that's a way telling your unconscious that you want to access this higher dimension. And you want to relax too. Just relax with the process. If you use it as a performance thing, that's not relaxing, is it? Oh, can I do the records? I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it right. I'm not getting anything. Just breathe. And that's why some breathing and relaxing at first is often a good way to start. to be in a relaxed state, because that calms the regions of your brain which are very active and very in these beta waves, these intense states of agitation and mental chatter. It just calms it down. Okay. Okay. A lot of times it's good. Sometimes you may want to say, I'm going to access the records for my highest good of all concerned. Thank you. I want to access, I'm opening the Akashic records for the highest good of all concerned. Thank you, especially if you're reading someone else. That's nice to say. I kind of do that implicitly because that's, I used to do that, and now it's just sort of built in or baked into what I'm doing. Okay. Okay. And you, at the end, you may, I do like to say thank you, thank, if you meet guides, thank you for the guides, thank you for the records, just an acknowledgement. That's very good too in closing. That go piece by piece, step by step. It's a journey. You may get a little more the more you do this. Comments or questions on just those opening remarks before we have a practice, a demo practice and you practice.
I actually don't have a question, but I've just realized I just wanted to say to Deborah, I am so sorry. I'm not ignoring you. I am I've just been so crazy, crazy busy. So I promise you I will answer tomorrow. So apologies. That's all I wanted to say.
Oh,
Sorry for the
there's no need.
interruption.
I mean, so my perspective is that, and I told Phil this, I don't have any time for this course, but I basically sent to the universe because I work on crazy big, huge projects. And I just sent out to the universe that if it wants me to be here, it's going to figure that out for me. So, so don't worry. Like I feel like, making connections with each of you to be partners, there's just going to be some magical synchronicity in how that unfolds. So I'm very much in this space of we're just going to trust how this journey unfolds because I've been called to this work of Phil and Jane's since 2005 for a very long time. And I've kind of like pushed it and pushed it. So this is very much, and I think I understand Phil better now, just the whole sense of, I just have this overwhelming sense of steadfast trust that I'm in the right place, right? And I can't describe that. I haven't maybe had that in the other rounds of your courses, but I can't, it's strange. It's like I have this very interesting, very grounded support for this work this time. I don't know why.
Well, I think, thank you for sharing that. I think that was a very eloquent description of what we're doing here. And the deeper you get into the journey, the more there is this sort of deep trust, and you're sort of asked to sometimes go out on these limbs and these places where you haven't been and maybe no one has been, and say, we're looking for the certainty, we're looking for the, does this work or will, and security and survival is part of our makeup, but somehow we can put this higher template in place like we're doing today, and it will help us even with the more practical survival security things that we're dealing with daily. But thanks, Deb. That was a beautiful description. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, because even that deep, there's like somehow this deep trust that whatever journey or twist my life takes, there's some other reason for it. And I think that came with just maturity of living life a bit more, right? And just understanding that, yeah, nothing's bad that's going to happen. It's just going to happen for a reason, and I'm going to understand something in a way I've never come to understand it before, whether that's an experience or whatever the challenge is that shows up. I don't understand it in that moment. And I guess I've kind of given up a little bit, not completely, but I've given up a little bit of that. Like, here's this event in my life why is this so hard for me? And I've come to realize it's me making it hard.
Yeah, yeah, it's letting go of the resistance and try, it doesn't make sense. We don't know how it's going to work out, but when you get that deeper soul connection, and the cards and the Akashic records is such a great help, you do start to trust more and live your life that way. Like, I don't know how this is going to work out. I can't see it, but this is what I'm being called to do. And as they say, the path narrows the further you get, because like, yeah, you do want to awaken, you do want to spiritually grow. So doing that is actually not the right choice. It might seem safe and secure, but it's actually not what your soul is calling you to do.
So that all sounds easy, but it's not easy.
No, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it's easy
I
for
mean,
Jane
in
and me
theory, like
either.
you can
Yeah,
intellectualize it, but then
yeah,
like
yeah. No,
actually
it's not. But the
really,
more you do it, the more, and at certain points, like Jane and I say, like, there really sort of isn't a choice, because, they're trying to just deny all this and abandon what we're being called to do. It doesn't make any sense, even though we don't know how it's working out, or we can't figure out where this is going or how it's going to work. Yeah. So that goes back to what we were talking about initially, the trusting. Suspending the left brain, the ego, quieting the mind, breathing, doing these kind of practices. And the more you do them, the easier it becomes. And that's why we're so glad you're here in the class, because as you practice this today, and we're going to go into that now, you get the actual hands-on experience. So thanks, Deb. So let's go into a volunteer, and I'll show you the 3 cards I picked, and someone can volunteer for our reading today. And there we are with the 3 cards that I picked. And from the Mystical Oracle, which is such a wonderful deck, the drum, which is a card I rarely get, which I was really interesting. It's a little hard to see some of them. They're beautifully. There's a drum, and kind of like I don't know if that's a bird. It's some kind of eagle, or some bird that, like an eagle. I'm not sure if that's it. And there's the kettle drum up there in the top left. And the descriptions in the Mystical Shaman are very beautiful too. I'll share a little bit of that from the guidebook. The essence of the drum. So we're all, uh, beating the beat to our own drum, which is part of the, we have our unique, different drum, and that's what actually we were talking about a moment ago. You have this drum that's beating. Are you listening to it? Are you following that drum of your higher self, or are you just going with the 3D conditioning, programming, fear, reality that, most of us, well, we've all been programmed with that. Part of the spiritual growth is to transcend that, of course, awaken, recognize, and transcend it. So it says in the guidebook, the rhythm of the drum tunes you to the beating heart of the universe. And that's another way of saying it. What's the universe calling me to do? Its wood frame links you to the trees and helps you journey to the lower world via the roots, and the upper world through its branches. The drum skin gives the shaman the powers of the animal kingdom. Striking the drum calls forth the power of the thunder and the rumbling of the earthquake. I have a little music here. I don't know if that all enhances of a drum beating here. I'll play it and see if it works here. I don't know if that's helping, or if that's too loud. Maybe it's too loud. Let me get it.
Can't hear it at all, Philip.
Oh, you can't?
No.
Can you hear it now? No?
Mm-mm.
I can hear it. Okay, well, I guess it doesn't work in that modality. So anyways, the invitation of the drum, it invites you to your next bold step in your journey. What's your next bold step? The forces of heaven and earth are aligned behind you, supporting effortless action. And that's interesting. When you follow and trust and let go, it just sort of happens for you. But the resistance seems like a lot of effort because you're fighting so hard. It's not a time to push against the river. The current will take you exactly where you want to go once you jump in. Okay, you travel to the beat of a different drum. It's time to acknowledge that you do not fit a mold or role or relationship that is not in tune with you. Find your rhythm. respond to the heartbeat of that drum. Okay. Now is the time to move on. So that's the drum we're listening to. The person who's going to do, we're all doing in volunteers, and then the release card, right? So what are we releasing? This is again is the other deck, the Akashic Tarot, that rather cryptic, obscure deck, which has a lot of beauty to it once you kind of penetrate it or allow it to speak to you. One of Roses, the heart, the cups. One is commitment. So this answers some of the questions. I think maybe it was Melanie, about what happens when you have a positive card like this One of Roses, this commitment card. You're committing to something in a book or in writing. If it's a positive thing and you're releasing it, what would that mean? So you want to think through that. You would want to release commitments that, what? Maybe you've already filled in the blanks. If not, I'll help you. Commitments that aren't serving you, or sometimes called obligations. A little caveat, some obligations you need to fulfill at least temporarily until you can let them go. But is this something I need to do? Do I want to really commit to this? Is this the best way to use my time? Or, how can I end this obligation or minimize this obligation so I can really commit to the things I really want to commit to? Another way of saying this could be a reversal card, upside down. We don't usually do reversals. If it was upside down, it would be, commitments that are not useful, basically. So it's pretty much what I said. So you may get a positive card. You also sometimes get negative cards of things you want to release. There's a card in the Mystic Shaman called the Curse. Imagine if you pick a card, say, what do I need to be spiritually aware of? And the card is the Curse. Or there are cards in the tarot like some of the swords cards, the mental cards like conflicts and entrapment, and there's all these arrows and swords. And and you kind of shrink and shirk. Oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be aware of that. But it's all there for your good and your spiritual growth, right? So there's something in that, the curse. What is cursing me that I need to release? What is a limiting belief? I'm not good enough. I can't do this. I don't have enough time. This won't work. That's kind of your own cursing yourself, really. And the things you say are very powerful, and you're putting a spell on yourself. Am I busy? I am very busy. Will I never have any time to do my spiritual growth? Wait a second. Is that true? No. Could I make time? Maybe it's a small amount of time. Could I make some time? Could I find time? I don't even know the time. I haven't tried it yet. Why haven't I tried it yet? Because I don't have any time. That's a curse, isn't it? So once you think through it, you want to let go of these things. I'm trapped. What is trapping you? I'm in grief. I can't see anything because I'm grieving something. I'm looking at the past. What is it you're looking at? What do you need to let go of? What do you need to integrate? So anyways, those are just some ideas because that's going to come up. It may have already come up in some of your readings and how to deal with that. I just want to open that up for any comments or questions on that because it's a rather important thing to be aware of or understand. All right. So going on to the what do you want to embrace? The third card from the Akashic Tarot deck. This is from the Minor Arcana. Six of Forces. The force is the fire suit, the waterfall, even though it's the fire suit, it's a waterfall. So water it's a dynamo. It's action, it's intensity, it's cleansing, its life is in motion. So we want to embrace that dynamic future that we're creating, right? Okay. So we want to have those breakthroughs. How do we do that? Well, we need to listen to the drum, our drum beat, right? You need to make time for your spiritual growth. I don't have time for that. I'm too busy. You need to do, maybe you want to do a little oracle reading. You want to visit the Akashic records. I don't know. I don't know if I can do that. Have you tried? No. I don't understand the Akashic records. Okay, that's fine. Would you be willing to kind of allow it to sit and get some resources or ask for help to understand it? Okay. All right. So let go of commitments that don't work. That's releasing. Then that will open up that dynamo, that intense, wonderful energy of new resources, new activities, new opportunities can pour into you. That makes a lot of sense. So let's look at that individually. So the volunteer for today is, let me know who that person is.
I'll volunteer.
Melanie. All right.
That's all right.
Okay, very good. So Melanie, all right. So first of all, we have these cards picked up. Let's say if you were doing a reading for this case, Melanie, we picked out the cards about your spiritual awareness, your next steps today, right? And the first card, yes, did you have a comment?
No.
Okay.
Carry on.
And when we do readings with people, we like to be very interactive. We're a little different, and this is the way we teach, and it's a little bit outside the mainstream, but that's just the only way we can do it because it feels authentic to us. I'm speaking for Jane and me at Awakenings Institute. So we're very interactive with people. A lot of people, our readers, are very top down. Okay, Melanie, here's what I'm getting. The drum, this means A, B, C, D, E for you. And now I'm seeing this and that and this and that. And then we go on to the next. So it's basically coming from me. Now, even if I was 100% correct, which me or any reader may not be, that's sending a message that it's coming from me, not coming from you. So at the end, it's been a kind of an external experience where I got a reading from Philip. It may have been very good, but this is what Philip said. Yeah, I believe it, but it's sort of easy to believe it if you're in this passive receiving mode, and especially if you're from an authority like the person who's the reader. We tend to easily be kind of very undiscerning, just very accepting in that state. So instead, what are we doing instead? I'm doing, and I'm about to do it right now. I ask Melanie. So when you look at the drum card, coming back into the reading, what comes up for you?
When I think of the drum, I actually think of Red Indian dance.
Yes.
That is something that's always kind of I don't know why, but it's always, I wouldn't say I suppose fascinated me, but also just I really kind of feel it, you know, deep inside.
Dancing with your spiritual growth.
Well,
what would
sorry.
what would that be for you if you're dancing, that in a way that would connect somehow with your spiritual growth, which you may or may not have an answer with for now?
Yeah, no, I do actually. I think
What do you know?
well, I think for me, I've always taken my spiritual growth so seriously.
Yes.
And I think
Good point.
something that I've never really done, or not for a very, very long time, is have fun in my life. Like, really just, relax and just go with it. And because I've been a single mum for so long, and so a lot of my life has been trying to do it all, get it done, be the one in charge, or in control, in terms of the family and that sort of thing, what needs to happen, etc. So
Got it.
so life has been very, very serious. So but before I had my daughter especially, and still sometimes, what I love is actually when I have time is I put music on loud in my kitchen. Doesn't disturb my neighbors, by the way. I'm not and I dance and sing my heart out, and it's so for me so releasing. So
I think we're on to something there. Now, I'm doing two things. I'm doing a demo session with Melanie, and I'm kind of teaching why I say what I'm going to say. So you just have that for yourself as a reference, not as a have to. You must follow the way Philip's doing it. So
Yeah.
I have taken notes, which I do recommend taking notes, and there are keywords that people say. And the keyword she said was about the dancing, having fun, and listening to music and singing. So all those things were keys to her. That's what I'm putting down. And that takes us to the next card, which is releasing commitments. So that, and so sometimes I might just be reaffirming what she said, which I kind of did there a moment ago. And this next card is what we're releasing, Melanie, and we're maybe all releasing because we're doing this collectively too and individualistically, is commitments that aren't really serving you. Is there any commitment or commitments that might be good to let go or loosen up?
Well, this is a tricky one because right now things are going on at work. It's a very complicated situation. And yeah, so I'm self-employed, but I work as a support worker, and one of the jobs that I do a few jobs, but and there's been some sort of stuff going on, not seemingly not positive, although I think in the long run it will be. Now, in terms of commitments, what's coming to mind really is, and this is, yeah, I'm kind of a bit unsure of what I am supposed to be doing, what the universe is actually, saying is my, what I should be doing
Okay.
to
Let's
bring
let's
income.
go back. Let's suspend.
Yeah.
Let's go back to that because I'm from what you just said because she's not sure. Let's go back to the third card, which is what to embrace, and that might shed light on what commitments to release. So, what to embrace, the third card. Once you start dancing, having fun with your life. Again, I'm reviewing and saying the word she told me, singing from your heart. This waterfall can emerge, this wonderful burst of energy and dynamism, and showing you opportunities and energies that can be very positive for you going forward for your spiritual growth. What's that bringing up for you? These possibilities, these opportunities for you, Melanie?
Um,
Or where to even look for them, or maybe it's a place to go to start seeking them.
yeah, I mean, again, I'll give you an example. I actually thought it was last year I was doing hypnotherapy, and I really enjoyed it and I loved it.
Mhm.
But um, for some reason, well, I failed the exam twice because I was told that the tone of my voice wasn't what they, expected, which was rather, yeah, the whole
Yeah,
thing
so
was very
staying with the
strange.
opportunities, let's stay with that.
Yeah,
What are
yeah,
the
yeah.
opportunities or things? Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is that, I believe that I know that I'm very spiritual and I'm very much into and wanting to help people in some form of healing,
Yes.
whether, with tarot, with um, yeah, helping them to know who they really are, to love themselves, to have a connection with God. That is my heart. But what that actually is not, and I think this experience with the hypnotherapy has kind of thrown me a bit. Oh, hello.
Yeah. So
Because
yeah,
yeah.
okay. So and that's understandable. Yeah. And that threw you. So it's throwing you, opening up something else for you. You know, you are also in a class right now for learning. So that's an opportunity, isn't it?
True.
Yeah.
That's true. Yes,
So
absolutely.
keep
Sorry.
on focusing.
No.
So,
Yeah.
let's breathe
Yeah.
into it a little bit, and maybe
Yeah.
we need to go to the Akashic records to get some further insight because
Yeah.
um,
Absolutely.
a couple of those things were a little clouded over by um, questioning, wondering them. You know, just allowing it to unfold.
Mhm.
We don't know what maybe we don't know what to let go. A good question to ask if you're, kind of flummoxed by it is, what do I need to let go? And just hang out. Don't
Yeah.
think about it. Stop thinking. Breathing.
Yes.
What do I need to let go? I don't know what I need to let go. Well, I'm putting it out there. I don't know what comes to me. What is the
Yeah.
opportunities? I don't know what the opportunities are. Okay, well, let's just put it out there.
Yeah.
What comes to mind? Now, it may not come to mind immediately. It may come to mind tomorrow. I don't know.
Yes.
Okay. So
Yeah.
have you been able to access the Akashic records previously,
Well,
Melanie?
to be honest, I'd like to say yes, but I'm not sure. I think so, but yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
this is
Right.
very new.
Yeah, it's new.
So
And that's a good point. If it's new, then, people often say this in this course, like, I'm not sure at first, I wasn't. And the interesting thing is, often we're there, but where I started the class, the left brain, the ego comes in and starts questioning everything. And it's the same thing with hypnotherapy. So all of that, uh, it's kind of like the chatter. So we just breathe and set that aside, say, okay, I don't know if I'm there. I'm just going to see what I get. Just say, I don't know if I'm there, but just follow. Are you willing to kind of follow the flow and just see where it leads you without knowing whether you're there or not?
absolutely, yeah. It's really interesting actually you say about the left brain, because that is totally, I know that is what's happening.
Yeah,
My left
it's very
brain is
common for us all. I mean, I can totally relate to that. So that's normal. No, that's par for the course. So, if you don't have that, you'd probably be in the exception. So that's normal. But what we do is go through that and just hang out there for a while and see what unfolds. Uh, so we'll breathe and relax for a minute. We'll go to the Akashic records, and then everyone can draw a card and get further insights for themselves from this experience. Okay.
yeah.
So are you in a calm, quiet, undisturbed place, Melanie, for a couple minutes there? And you can close
Yes.
your eyes.
Mhm.
And remember, we start with breathing, because breathing relaxes our mind and our body and our heart. Breathing nice, pure, clear breaths in, taking back our own energy, breathing nice, easily through the nose, and slowly exhaling, releasing what we no longer need. Very good. And as we breathe in these pure, clear breaths in through the nose, nice and easily, exhaling, releasing anything we picked up along the way today that we no longer need, that's not us, breathing it out. And as we breathe in these beautiful, clear breaths, our whole body relaxes and lets go and feels more and more at peace, at ease. And let that beautiful, calm energy go through your whole body, Melanie, and everyone, in the right way for you now. And as we allow ourselves to relax and breathe even more, it allows us to open up, to rise up in the way that's right for us. We may sense ourselves rising up higher and higher, maybe seeing or sensing ourselves going up to a high summit place, a mountaintop, rising up there. And Melanie, let me know how you're doing when you feel yourself rising up there.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm
And
on the mountain.
you're on a mountain, very good. And from the mountain, there's a portal. There's a way to go up even further into the Akashic records. There's a portal. There's a mist. There's a tunnel. There's a beanstalk.
Mm.
Some way, an opening that's right for you. Are you beginning to get a sense of that now?
Yeah, it's like beam me up, Scotty.
Beam me up, yes. So let's beam up Melanie. So she's being beamed up into the Akashic records, and just allow that to be whatever it is as you're beamed up into this place. And as you arrive there, you may start to get a picture or a sense of just being in a place or experience. There may be a greeter there for you, maybe a guide, or not. So let me know what you're beginning to pick up there.
I feel like I'm in a like a medicine room, like herbal medicines
Mm-hmm.
and healing
Mm-hmm.
where they're being prepared and stored, and it's yeah.
Healing
Um,
potions and
mm,
herbs or things.
mm,
Okay.
yeah.
Is there anyone there with you?
Yes.
Who's that?
I'm not sure, but it's positive.
Yeah. Let the person,
Um,
maybe you might want to let the person introduce him or herself to you, identify himself. You could do that if you want.
mm, yeah. Um, I get the the feeling that it's like a teacher.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah. Okay,
and
good.
yeah, yeah.
So with the teacher now, just we were talking about opportunities you have before you and any commitments that might be in the way. And he can show you a time, a place, a resource, a past life, something that can shed light on you letting go of commitments and finding the opportunities that are right for you now going forward. And just allow yourself to open up to that experience that's being shown to you. And you may get a sense of a person, a place, a scene, a different time, a choice you made.
Mm. I get I get this I get the sense that it's about a past life.
Yes.
I think I was I was a healer in a past life,
Yes. And what
and
happened?
I think
Yeah.
I feel like I think I was burnt at
Hmm.
stake for
Yeah.
being a witch.
Yeah.
Ooh, ooh.
Are you getting any kind of reaction or any
Yeah. Um,
experience from that?
I feel like I'm getting that, that plugged into the socket, like tingling all over, and I'm feeling, yeah, that feels like maybe that's why, I'm scared of,
Hmm.
to step out
Hmm.
with what I know,
Okay.
yeah.
Right. Okay. So just sending any kind of blessings, or if that teacher wants to help you,
Mm.
bless yourself from that past life with all that you learned, even though you may have been uh, hurt or killed for it in that past life. Just allow the blessings or the learnings to come to you now. Let me know what that's like for you.
Yeah.
Yes. What's that like for you, Melanie?
Yeah. I I feel a sense of um closure.
Good. Excellent. So thanking your teacher
Mm,
and thanking your
mm,
past life efforts and all that you
mhm.
learned that you can still use and draw from, right?
Yeah.
So ready to come back and thanking the teacher and thanking the experience from the Akashic Records and all the resources that you've been given and shown today, right?
Yes.
So coming back down that portal, that kind of beaming yourself back down
Hmm.
through the mountain into your seat where you are now, right?
Hmm.
Knowing that you can use your abilities, past and present, to find the opportunities that are right for you, right? And when you're ready, you can open your eyes on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, opening your eyes, returning refreshed, more at peace, more empowered, more available
Yeah.
to find and take advantage of the opportunities that are right for you.
Thank you, Philip. That was amazing.
Good job. You did very well. So I think that's a pretty good example. Just one thing, and one of the reasons why we like to use these cards so much with the records, it gives us structure rather than just going in and saying, what do you need to be spiritual aware of? Well, I'm not sure what I need to be spiritual aware of. Well, let's go into the records and find out. That would still work, but I really like having the structure of commitments you have to let go of. And I'm going to close
Yeah.
with just revisiting the spread here. And then the waterfall, the dynamo, the opportunities that lie ahead. So just revisiting and closing for now about following the drumbeat of your own drumbeat, listening to your own drumbeat, your own heartbeat, aligning with the universe, right? So any commitments to let go of and any opportunities, even if it's just to ask the questions of what, I need to let go of and what I need to embrace.
Um, well, I'm actually I do essential oils for
Oh,
doTERRA.
very good. Okay, that's nice.
So, and yeah, and I kind of got back into them sort of quite recently, um um and I think that's something that I would like to pursue because I really believe in them.
So there's an
And
opportunity.
yeah, and I actually met someone today,
Wow.
a businesswoman, who is also interested. So yeah, so I'm quietly building, but not because I'm trying to like, I just love it. So I tell people about it because it just really inspires me, and yeah, I'm very passionate about it
That
actually
is
because I think
inspiring. That's beautiful. So the opportunities are
yeah,
there kind of opening up. Once, once
yeah,
the cloud of the ego and the negative chatter, we start to hear the signal from the noise, all that stuff of, I really don't know what I don't, I'm kind of stuck. I can't get out of this rut. Well, start small, one step at a time. What you said today about, returning the essential oils and you already had a synchronous opportunity today that now maybe you can recognize and value and build on, do you think?
yeah. Um, I I I think so. Um, yeah.
Okay,
Yes, I think so, definitely. Um, like I say, yeah, I'm very passionate about them, and they are
great.
incredible,
Yeah,
and they're
beautiful.
healing, and they're
Yeah, that was a
yeah.
great,
So
great demonstration. Thanks, Melanie, for
yeah,
volunteering,
thank
and I
you.
hope that was helpful. So that was,
It's
I
amazing.
think, a pretty good example. It was inspiring to me, anyways. I hope you got a lot out of it. And hey, I hope. Um, and Ashley, your little one, that's cute. Um, Comments or questions on that reading with the accessing the Akashic records for illumination and healing and closure and going further. So I guess we're all quiet on the Western Front
I know.
and
Everybody's
there.
so quiet. I'll talk a
Yeah.
little bit. It's interesting. So you're actually leading people to their own knowing, and you're being a connector for them,
Yeah.
right? And kind of
Facilitator.
helping them muddle through their ego and set it
Yeah.
aside at the same
Asking some
time.
questions. So if a person is, Melanie hit a few, we're kind of sticking points, shall we say. That's a time to ask a question. You know, might it be this? Where could you go from here? What are you seeing? What's coming up? I'm not seeing anything. Okay, what's going on? It's just all gray. Okay, go into the gray. Let's go to the gray and see what's in that gray. Just go right into the center of it. You know, whatever is up, that's what we address. I'm just giving you a kind of worst case scenario there.
Yeah, so it's interesting because as much as the verbalization is I don't know, then you're also in this very centered, like, well, you do know. It's just your ego's not letting you hear it in a way.
Yeah, that's kind of the truth. We don't say things like that. I'm saying that because we're teaching
Right.
a class, but we don't say, okay, your ego's in the way. You can't get
No,
it.
I'm just rational. I mean, I'm just explaining like what happened in the process because
Yeah.
it's really interesting.
Yeah.
Um, aha, I guess for me.
So, and as mentioned earlier, is the ego, the questions, the resistance is going to come up. I mean, it comes up with Jane and me. And the idea is, okay, let's allow that. Okay, I'm questioning that. Let's just set it aside. Opportunities, I don't see any opportunities. Okay, so there's, you know, I'm getting probably a lot of fear and worry, and you know, you can't, you know, if you're fearful and worry, you can't think of opportunities, right? That's probably rearing up, you know. Okay, just hang out, it'll come. Just that's okay. Keep exploring, keep asking questions, keep taking one step, you know, and it generally works fine. Any other comments and questions before we do a little individual exploration here with you? I'll break you into groups and you can go further. Thanks, Melanie, again. So the way we thought a simple, easy way today to go further is we all had this reading with watching and supporting Melanie, but it was also for us individually for our own removing unnecessary commitments and finding the opportunities, the waterfall, the dynamo. You could draw one card to give you clarification for yourself of how you can find the beat of your own drum, follow it, how you can let go of unnecessary commitments, how you can take advantage of opportunities, the waterfall. Okay, so you draw one card that could be illuminating, and it could be from the Mystical Shaman or the Akashic Tarot, or even another deck if you don't have those, either of those. And you could take that with your partner, say, I'm getting this card, here's what I'm getting from it, and the other person could support them and just maybe have some dialogue for illuminating what that card might mean for that individual person. Is that clear what to do? So let's see, there's 7. So one group would be 3 because we're at a kind of an odd number. So 2 groups of 2.
Phil, it's just one card, right? Not 3 cards.
Just one card. We already have the 3 cards about the drum, following your drum, and that you want to let go of any unnecessary commitments, the release, and the embraces, the waterfall, the dynamic opportunities that are ahead of you. So that's what the template we're all going to use to make it simple and easy. So to get further,
sorry.
Yeah, and to get further illumination, you draw one card. Hope, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. Can I volunteer to be the third? Because I'm a little scattered right now.
You're on 3rd. Okay, we'll put you in a group of 3. No?
Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
Do we have to do anything, Phil, or?
Well, we're just going to draw a card and talk about what that means to you for this reading. Okay, you with me? So if I drew another card, let's say I drew a card, I said I want to get more insight on this reading, and I draw the 1 of keys, which is the architect. You know, what is this meaning for me? How could I be an architect for my removing commitments? And the waterfall, just kind of reflect on this and then go into the picture. Just giving you an example. Is that clear, by the way? Is everyone clear what we're doing? Because before I don't want to break you into groups if you don't know what you're doing. Is everyone clear? And if anyone's not, this is the time to say something.
I'm sorry, my children are feral. Can you just briefly, we're doing a card for commitments, you said, what we're releasing with commitments?
No problem, Ashley. We have the basic reading, right?
Uh-huh.
The basic reading, is that clear? That I'll just show it to you again real quickly. The basic reading that we just did, which is for you, for everyone individually, you want to follow the beat of your own drum. What do you need to release commitment-wise?
Yep.
And what do you need to embrace for your dynamic opportunities, the waterfall? So the card you're drawing is further information. I want to draw one card to give me a little more insight for me individually, and then you'll talk with your partner about what you're picking up from that, and you can have a dialogue.
Sounds good.
Is that clear?
Yes. Yes. Thank
Okay,
you so much. Sorry.
No problem. Here are the rooms. Hope, Deborah, David, and Ashley is with Melanie, and Lucia is with Margaret. Here we go. And so we have about 15 minutes or so to explore your individual card, and we'll come back and debrief together. Okay? And I'll circulate in the rooms if you need me. So pick your card. And Hope, I'm not sure why you're not joining. You may have to exit and come back again. I don't know why you're not going in. Hope, are you there?
Yeah. What do you mean exit?
Well, you may have to exit the Zoom and come back in because for some reason you're not being, you should be sent to a group now, and for some reason your connection. So come back in. Oh, now you're there. Okay, there you go.